On September 6th, Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter Ryan Gabrielson visited with Smith Cotton writing students via Skype technology.
Where I went to student paper again and just learned the first draft of what we call the main bar, the day one, the first story that just sort of captures the biggest points of all that I've found. I'll just write. I'll put all my notes aside, all the other files, all the information, and just try to write from my head. What do I know? And that's usually sort of the 8,000 word opus that has everything that I think is important, and it's still leaving about 50 to 60% of my reporting on the cutting room floor.
Students prepared for Gabrielson's talk by reading some of his award-winning work.
I was wondering, how much traveling do you do in your job? I know that you must have to go to a lot of places to get the info to investigate.
I do a ton of traveling now. I just got back from Minnesota. I'm a big proponent of doing my interviews in person. You get much more out of people, and you can relate to them as a human being, and really understand who they are and learn what they're talking about at a much deeper level. You're sitting across from them as opposed to talking on the phone. Certainly, email is. I have 4 email interviews. So I'm.
Senior Taylor Smith asked about Gabrielson's reports on Californians with disabilities who had been mistreated.
Those stories were the most difficult thing I ever did in my career, and maybe it will be the most difficult thing, in part because in California, every piece of information that comes out or that is created at a developmental center in these institutions by state law, or at least the interpretation of state law, is confidential. And so I wasn't able to get anything through the public records requests that shed any light on what was happening inside the institutions. So I had to develop a network of sources inside the facilities and inside this bureaucracy who were willing to risk their careers to tell me things.
It was very beneficial to our class and to all the people that came in and sat with us, I believe, because as a first experience like that for me, it was really helpful because I didn't know what to expect, and when I was making my question to ask him, I was like making it all proper and like, well, I better sound official because it's an author who just won a Pulitzer Prize, but it just made me realize that like these are real people too, and asking him my question, like they have feelings on their work and like emotions that go into their story as well.
So I mean, it probably takes me 2 to 3 weeks to write drafts of all the stories in a series. The max I can probably write coherently is about 1,500 words a day.
The interview that took place today in Mr. Satman's class was very impressive, not only from the point of just having an award-winning author, reporter speak to the students, but also to bring in the technology. We were able to go to his workplace. We just didn't bring in a guest speaker to our place, we brought our students to his place. We got to see how and when he works and what he does, and it was on his time. And I think the students seeing someone in action, not just coming in their classroom and being right in front of them, they got to see somebody who was across the country. And I think that's very impressive to use that technology in that way. And I think it's just a gateway to build from that, to have our students also Skype out to other high schools, to have our students reach out to other people around the world. I'd like to expand it to other countries.
What's the most important decisions you'll make as a reporter are what you say no to, the things you don't pursue. Because if you say yes to everything, or if every new tip that comes to you, you go after, you'll never get anything done. You'll just constantly spend your life on step one.
For Sedalia School District 200, I'm Bob Satin.